Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Masons Online Classroom. Today, we'll be sharing the steps involved in constructing a brick wall. In this session, we will learn about the sequential procedures and essential points to consider when constructing a brick wall. Firstly, let's delve into the sequential procedures for brick wall construction. Preparation work. Setting out the wall. Determining the bonding and jointing method. Laying the bricks. Placing vertical control rods. Building the wall. Pointing the joints. Cleaning up. Let's focus on the crucial aspects of building a brick wall. Preparation work is divided into construction preparation and material preparation. 1. Construction preparation. Familiarize with the drawings, check the already built foundation, and review the axis and opening size, the line position of doors and windows, and the drawing situation of the story pole. Understand whether the wall is a drystone wall or a plastered wall, whether the axis is centered or biased, whether the window is stretcher brick or shiner brick, whether the beam is prefabricated or cast in place, whether it is an arch beam or a reinforced brick beam, and whether there is a ring beam and balcony cantilever beam. 2. Material preparation. 1. Brick. The variety, specifications, and strength levels of the brick meet the design requirements and are moistened in advance. 2. Sand, medium sand, the harmful substances, and mud content in the sand meet the regulations. 3. Cement, the variety and grade meet the regulations. 4. Admixture, whether to use fly ash and other admixtures and what are the performance technical requirements. 5. Gypsum, the consistency and performance meet the requirements. 6. Other materials. Before constructing the ground or upper floor walls, it is necessary to clear away debris such as ash and to level the bottom surface of the walls with cement mortar or fine aggregate concrete. This is to ensure that the wall base meets the design specifications, creating a seamless transition between the upper and lower exterior walls with no apparent joints. After leveling, the wall line can be set. The first floor wall line setting is based on the axis given on the batter board and the wall size marked on the drawing. Use the ink line to pop out the axis line and width line of the wall on the base surface, and draw the position line of the door opening. The axis line of the wall above the second floor can use a theodolite to pull up the axis line, pop out the width line of each wall, and draw the position line of the door and window opening. Determine the masonry method. There are many masonry methods for brick walls, such as the English bond, Flemish garden wall bond, etc. Generally, the English bond is used. 2. Determine the joint method. The joint method has a T-shaped wall and a cross-shaped wall. The specific methods include one brick wall meeting another in a T-shaped joint, one brick wall meeting a 1.5 brick wall in a T-shaped joint, one brick wall meeting another in a cross-shaped joint, and a 1.5 brick wall meeting another in a cross-shaped joint. When laying the bricks on the ground, during the construction process, the initial layer or first layer should be laid with header bricks, starting from one side of the corner and moving towards the other side. Before the second batch of masonry, bricklaying should be carried out. To ensure uniform vertical joints during wall construction and maintain a neat and orderly arrangement of the wall surface, brick placement should adhere to the requirements of staggered joints, minimizing the need for excessive brick cutting. Bricklaying is a process that must be carried out before masonry. Set up the story pole. The story pole refers to a wooden pole on which each layer of brick and brick joint thickness and the elevation position of doors and windows, beams, floors, beam bottoms, embedded parts, etc., are drawn. It is a reference point used to control the vertical dimensions of masonry during construction. At the same time, it can also ensure the verticality of the masonry. The story pole is generally set up at the house's four corners, the junction of the inner and outer walls, the stairwell, and the place with more openings. Set up one story pole every 10 to 15 meters. The story pole should be braced or anchored in two directions and fixed with nails to ensure its firmness and verticality. Before laying bricks each time, it is advisable to check the verticality and stability of the story pole. Wall construction principle. 1. The corner brick should be flat, and the chalk line should be tight. The cornering is crucial for ensuring a well-built wall. When cornering, emphasis should be placed on achieving a perfect right angle. Only when the corner is properly constructed can the guideline be accurately set, and it's only with a taut guideline that the wall can be laid well. 2. Plaster application should be precise, while the spreading of mortar should be done smoothly. Meeting the standards for the foundation, corners, and guidelines doesn't necessarily guarantee a well-built wall. The quality of the wall depends on whether each brick can be properly positioned, and this positioning is significantly influenced by the quality of the mortar application. 3. Follow the directrix above and the edge below. The key to laying a brick flat is to follow the guidelines precisely, otherwise, the brick might not be level, causing wall deformation or steps. 4. The story pole is placed accurately. The story pole is the primary reference for bricklayers to determine the brickwork's elevation. The accuracy of the story pole and the absence of errors marked on it directly affect the quality and result of the construction. Cornering and line hanging. When starting to lay bricks for the wall, following the established operating methods and based on the number of bricks and mortar joint requirements indicated on the story pole, after laying several layers of bricks at the wall corners, with plumb and large plumb bricks, stretch cotton lines or guidelines at both ends of the wall corners. The cotton line should be tightened to avoid slack. To prevent the line from falling into the mortar joint, a round stick or lined stick with a diameter of about 1 mm should be used at both ends to make a small gap between the line and the wall surface. The lined stick is about 1 to 3 centimeters away from the corner of the wall. If the wall is too long, a story pole should be set up every 15 meters to avoid the line sagging. It is also necessary to set up a waistline brick in the middle part of the wall. In the process of masonry, we should always adhere to the 3-layer hanging and 5-layer leaning and eliminate the masonry error in the operation, so as to ensure the vertical and flatness of the wall surface. Masonry of the middle wall. Based on the well masonry corner bricks and the well-hung lines, the bricks of the wall masonry should be followed up and down, and the left and right should be flat. This method ensures good levelness and verticality for the constructed wall surface and structure. The function of grouting a drystone wall is to create a stronger connection between the block materials stacked vertically, horizontally, and diagonally while also maintaining a clean, tidy, and visually pleasing wall surface. There are generally 5 types of joint forms: flat joint, concave joint, inclined joint, extruded joint, and beaded joint. The mortar used for grouting can be divided into 2 types: pure mortar and additive mortar. The order of jointing should be from top to bottom, first jointing the horizontal seam and then the vertical seam. The wall surface jointing should be horizontal and vertical, consistent in depth. Tenon jointing is flat, compacted, and polished and prevents missing joints. Finally, clean up the work, finish the material, clean the site, and do not litter. That concludes our lesson for today. Thank you all for watching.